Welcome to the horniest Video Village podcast of all time. I'm joined by Priya Kosana, and we are going to be talking about the hottest men of the British Isles. I guess it's hottest actors of the British Isles, but really, I mean, it doesn't matter.
I don't know, okay? I have a lot of men on here. Some of them, all of them are British. Some of them are British in the movies. I don't know.
So are you saying they're British actors who play Americans?
I don't think so, because of course, like, being British is a part of the appeal.
Right.
But I have some British people that are doing the American stuff. But we don't know if they'll come out to play.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a very large honorable mention section here. Just, you know, this is a weird podcast for a listener to view on Spotify.
I feel like it's not weird. It's what we all want.
I mean, I'm just saying that it's weird because this is a mostly sexless podcast, like I've said before.
Oh.
You know, this podcast is used as a sort of like a cool down for a lot of the listeners after a hot and heavy night with their lover. They just put their AirPods in, smoke a cigarette, and hear me talk, and it really just gets them ready for bed.
Yeah, I see your vision. Yeah,
it's like a fire extinguisher on their nether regions. just completely cool.
It's like getting into a cold tub of ice water.
Yes, almost hypothermic actually. And so because of that, I wanted to give the listener some context to what this draft is and why we're doing it. Hot men of the British Isles. Priya, what do hot men of the British Isles mean to you?
They are pretty much everything to me. The reason why I love movies, and truly I think the reason why I can continue on doing everything in life, is being able to catch a glimpse of a man sobbing in the trenches during a world war, just dealing with the worst like environment and people, and that is like the peak of cinema to me. And so for that reason, I am super duper excited for this episode.
Right. British men going through trauma on screen is the reason you love movies and are maybe one of the biggest cinephiles I know, which is pretty insane actually to think about.
Just, I mean, honestly, beyond, like, men going through trauma on film is really nice. But yeah, British men, they know how to do it because they have that stiff upper lip. But they also are, like, able to be when they are able to be vulnerable on screen, it's just like, it's another dimension. I love.
I don't disagree with you, but it's just not coming from within my soul like it is for you, which I'm okay with, you know? That's why you're on the podcast. You're running the show here. And you're really going to be, I'm going to be learning things today, which is refreshing. Because I have a list of names here. There's maybe 20, 25 names on this list. I'll be honest, I did no research for this podcast, so all of these names came from my brain, which means that I'm definitely missing probably most of the hottest hotties you have on your list. Anyone under like 26 years old is just not coming through on my list.
Oh, what? Okay. Well, that's on you. Do your research. But I have to be honest, a lot of these names, I actually don't know their name. I was just like, who is that hot man from that one movie? And then I have to look it up. So...
Right. It'll be, that's good. I mean, it'll be like education for the listener. You know, maybe they've seen some of the movies you'll be talking about. They didn't know who that was, and they'll learn alongside us. So that's all fine and dandy with me. I kind of want to just jump into it because there's not much else to like really explain here. We're talking about the hottest actors of the British Isles. That includes, I don't understand the geography that well, but like the UK, Ireland, Wales.
Northern Ireland.
Well, Northern Ireland is part of the UK.
Wait, I thought Ireland was a part of the UK.
No, so Ireland consists of mostly the Republic of Ireland, which is independent, and then a small section of Northern Ireland, which is part of Britain, and that's why it's such a contentious relationship because a lot of Irish people who are from the Republic historically hate Britain because of their conflicts and wars. But just to fact check myself, I'm gonna make sure I'm not talking out of my ass right now with this whole UK Great Britain.
I mean, who cares? The point of this, it's not a history lesson.
Okay.
Go listen to a history podcast if you want that.
Yeah. just to be clear, I looked it up already. It's the UK is a separate thing. That's England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And then we're also talking about
All right.
Ireland here. So, Men of the British Isles is what we're saying the name of the podcast is.
Yeah.
So we respect their territory.
Wait, what about Scotland? Because I'm a Scottish person.
Girl, Scotland is not part of this draft. I would...
Oh, no.
What are you saying?
I thought they were. It's okay. It's okay. I forgive you.
I'm going to explain the categories very quickly. We have categories for this draft, so it's not just you naming every hot man you can think of. I had to challenge you to, organize your thoughts into a coherent manner. So we have 6 draft categories today. These categories are going to be about the type of movie or the type of role that these actors have played. So the 6 categories here are superhero. This actor has played a superhero or been in a superhero movie. Young adult film or like a teen movie. Oscar nominee for our more prestigious actors. We have war as a genre of movie because of what you just talked about, that being your favorite type of British Isle man to watch. We have a category that's just called hottest of all time to shout out an actor who may be the worst actor you've ever seen, but is undoubtedly the hottest person you've seen on screen. And we have wild cards. So can I just clarify one thing with you as because you're really the master of this draft. I just want a clarification. I tried getting an answer from you on this question, which is, are we drafting the hottest actors based on how good of an actor they are or how hot they are?
Okay, no. It's not about how hot they are or how good of an actor they are. It's how hot they are embodying the role. So, for example, I will give you an example.
Okay.
Cillian Murphy.
Yes.
Objectively hot.
Yes.
But as Oppenheimer, not hot.
I counter you
Ugly.
with Peaky Blinders. Very hot.
Exactly. So you could say Cillian Murphy in Peaky Blinders would be one of your hottest of all time. But Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, where he maybe is acting a little bit better, is not.
I see. So are we drafting a specific role when we choose somebody, or are we just saying the actor?
Oh, I have a specific role.
That's fine with me. I'm more down with that, I think.
Yeah. Because I think that some of these people, if I saw them on the street, I'd be like, no.
Right. And another clarifying question. So we're drafting a specific role that an actor has played. If the British actor's hottest role is him playing an American, is that acceptable, or do they have to be playing a British person on film?
I have some where the British actor is playing an American person.
Okay.
And I think that it works.
Okay, I'm down with that.
The Britishness of them, they can't take away. The European colonizer vibes are still there,
The essence is there. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think I am ready to draft.
All right.
So we're going to do a snake draft. So whoever drafts first gets 1 pick, and then the person who goes second gets 2 picks, and then we're just going to go back and forth with 2 picks each until we draft 1 person per our 6 categories. Do you care who starts? Because I certainly do not.
No, you go.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I guess I do.
There's a couple categories here that. Sorry. One more clarifying question. We're talking about movies, right? Are we talking about?
Yeah,
TV
I don't
too?
have any shows.
Okay. Good. All right, that's fine. All right, I am. Oh man, I just realized that's actually tough. The category I'm most nervous about, I'll be honest, is hottest of all time, because that's the one I'll get judged on the most. Correct? Like everyone's gonna be like, "That's who Mihir thinks is the hottest of all time." I'm just gonna lose all credibility to my female audience if I fuck this thing up.
See, my hottest of all time is also controversial in that, I mean, undoubtedly the person is hot, but we'll talk about it. When we get there, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I think that you can't please everyone with that. You just have to take your polarizing take and you have to move on,
So you're saying I should draft for myself rather than draft for who I think people are gonna like me saying is the hottest.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll take Mr. Bean in hottest of all time. No, I'm kidding.
No way.
I'm kidding. Hottest of all time, man. You really got me fucked up with this one, because I'm debating between 2. I know one that Krupa would approve of, and one that I personally approve of.
No, you have to go with your heart. I'm not here with Koopa. I'm here with you.
Okay. Then, in that case, wow, I think I'm going to do this. All right. I didn't think I was going to do this like 6 seconds ago, but I think it just dawned on me that I have to do this. In hottest of all time, I will be drafting Agent 007, Mr. Daniel Craig of James Bond. Specifically, hear me out. Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. Have you seen this movie?
No. I listened to the song.
I'm not talking about James Bond in Skyfall. That's aging, weary James Bond.
I'm talking about the Sam Smith song.
That's another movie. That's called Spectre. That's an even worse. That's like a 2.5-star movie out of 5. That's not a good movie. Hear me out. For the listeners, I need everyone to Google on their phones right now. Casino Royale beach scene. First YouTube video. Casino Royale at the beach. There's a shot of Daniel Craig emerging from the water, and he looks like a Greek god. It is the hottest thing I have probably ever seen on camera, and it just sets up James Bond as like, this is not going to be like your Sean Connery, super lame, cheesy James Bond. Like, this James Bond is here to fuck on camera.
I see it. Damn. Does he really?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Oh.
Now I'm interested. Okay.
Don't promise me that he's gonna fuck on camera if he doesn't.
I mean, it's like one of the hottest things I've ever seen, because it's not just like a hot man coming out of the water. It's like it's James Bond coming out of the water. Like, you really believe like, whoa, that's that is like the suave, super hot guy who kills people, and he's got the 6-pack, the pecs, and those steely blue eyes. God damn, Daniel Craig, hottest of all time. I didn't think I was gonna do that coming in.
Dry martini.
Oui, monsieur.
Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lily. Shake it over rice, and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to judge. I want to know, out of curiosity, I mean, maybe you want to keep your cards close to your chest, but who is your other person?
I'm not going to say that because I think I might still draft him.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a good chance you draft him too. That's why I'm just like, let's hold off. But I will, if we don't draft him, he'll be my first honorable mention.
Okay. Is it my turn?
You get 2 picks.
Okay. So for my first, this is like a sentimental, like, I love him. He was the beginning of something for me, and I always will keep him close to, he's like my mentor in some ways. So.
Oh, is this Michael Caine? Oh. I'm just kidding.
What? That guy is old. No. This is Eddie Redmayne in Theory of Everything.
Wow, I did not see that coming. Wait, what category are you drafting him in?
Oscar nominee, obviously. He's an Oscar winner.
Yeah, so. Thank God. I thought you said hottest of all time for a second, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, no. We'll get there when we get there. Theory of Everything. I love when he's like in the bathtub. He's like, am I crippling with this illness or not? I love everything about it.
Just to be clear, you're saying that he's hottest when he's beginning to suffer from ALS, the crippling disease
don't say it like that.
Even inspired a worldwide social media
I love
challenge
when he's like, deeply thinking about what this will like, how this will impact his family and his life and his like relationship. Like, I don't necessarily love that he has ALS. I'm sorry to Stephen Hawking. Okay?
I'm just poking holes in this argument. I'm just here to play devil's advocate. I'm here to
I love when he's like a nerdy little boy and he's like doing his math problems. Like, that's so hot. Like, I appreciate that. When I got to grad school, like, I really thought that I was gonna find myself one of those, and then I found out that that's not a thing anymore. So
sorry, can you just clarify?
I thought I was gonna find myself like a little like nerdy Stephen Hawking Eddie Redmayne when I came to grad school, and there are none. Now they all sit on their computers, and it's not as cool and cute when they're sitting on their computers.
You prefer a notebook and like in a wheelchair?
Yeah, exactly. You get it, and like they're like struggling, like, because their mind is so big and smart, but then they're like not able to like use their faculties. It's really hot. All I'm saying is, Stephen Hawking, like, you've got it. You got it. Okay.
I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, all I'll say is, it's a good performance.
Hello.
Hello.
Science.
Art.
I'm a cosmologist.
What's that?
I study the marriage of space and time.
The perfect couple.
One never knows from where the next great leap forward is going to come, or from whom.
What if I reverse time to see what happened at the beginning of time itself?
Wind back the clock.
Wind back the clock.
I wish that Michael Keaton won the Oscar that year for Birdman. I can't lie, but it's a good honorable performance. Good for him. Good for you. Good for you for picking that.
We'll get to one take movies later, okay? We'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay, sounds good. Oh god, I know who you're gonna draft. There's a couple. Couple nominees. There's like 2 nominees from that movie, actually, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Wow, I can't believe you just said that. All right, who's your second pick?
Okay, so my second pick is this isn't. I'm gonna go with like my heartfelt, like my childhood loves first.
Okay.
So in that theme, my second pick is Andrew Garfield for Spider-Man in Superhero.
Yeah, that's who I wanted in Superhero. That's tough.
I know. Isn't he so sweet and beautiful and cute in that movie? And I have to say, the biggest reason why I think he is hot in that movie is because he has impeccable chemistry. Well, in those 2 movies, with Emma Stone. So when I was in middle school, I think, and I watched that movie for the first time, the first one, I was like, that's what I'm going to be like in high school. And then it didn't happen. But I watched that movie for 4 times. So it was okay. I just kept watching the movie, and it fulfilled whatever dreams I had. So
he really does have good. I mean, I think he's maybe the best cast Spider-Man. Like, he feels like Peter Parker.
And he's so and he has the physicality for it because he's so lanky. Yeah. And he has that little skateboard. It's just so good. He
might be a little too hot, but in general, everyone in those movies, like those specific Andrew Garfield movies, was too hot. Like, Emma Stone's way too hot to be in high school. Even the bully was 40 years old. Like, it's just it was a hot movie.
But I wasn't watching that movie being this is realistic.
No, I agree.
12 years old. That's what I wanted,
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
So that's my hottest superhero.
I don't know. We could. Or we could do something else. Or we could, if you don't. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either one.
Really?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Good. Sounds good. Okay.
Still my heart.
I can't right now.
Yeah.
I'm so busy right now.
Me too.
On to you.
You really left me in a pickle here. In retrospect, I should have just fucking waited because there's no way you would have chosen Daniel Craig in Hottest of All Time. I definitely could have got that last.
No.
What am I doing here? I'm not organized. I honestly didn't. I didn't prepare enough for this draft. I have a long list in front of me and just, not enough places to put people. Okay, I think I know one of the picks. I'll just start there. Yeah, I'll do this. I was gonna do something else, but draft day, the adrenaline, you just feel something different. It's just getting to me. In young adult. I am going to take the actor that I was debating to take in Hottest of All Time. This is one of Krupa's personal favorites.
I know who it is.
No, you don't. No, you do not.
Yeah. Okay, say it.
I don't think this is who you think it is, but I'm curious. I'm curious to know who you're thinking about. In young adult, from the film 50 Shades of Grey, I will be taking Jamie Dornan.
Hell? That is not what I was going to say.
I know. When you said I know who this is, I was like, no, you don't. There's just no way you're going to think I'm going to pick this. Jamie Dornan.
Okay, I mean, it's a classic pick.
Jamie Dornan is so... I think, when I saw him in 50... I didn't see 50 Shades of Grey, the movie. I just seen, the posters, and I've seen, I've heard Earned It by the Weekend, a billion times. I was like, I get what this movie is doing. He looked hot in, the trailers and stuff, no question. And that's all I need to know that that's a hot performance. Jamie Dornan, though, have you seen the movie Belfast?
Yeah.
He's hot in Belfast. That's a movie about the Irish fucking rebellion and the Irish War. And he is just a hot dad in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, let me tell you, I watched 50 Shades of Grey. I actually watched all 3 of them with Krupa.
With Krupa, I know.
It was a fever dream. I cannot tell you one thing that happened that day. I actually can't even tell you one scene in that movie. But I can tell you that he was hot.
So curious to know who you thought I was going to pick.
Well, you said YA. Is that YA?
Is it not? Oh my gosh, wait, it's totally not. It's fucking porn.
It's like so not. But
hold on.
that's why, because you said YA, I thought you were going to pick the second love interest from To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Oh, no, I'm not going to. Jordan Fisher?
Yeah.
But he's
Jordan
not even,
Fisher.
Is he even British? I don't think he's British. Not. Yeah. No, but in general, I'm not picking anyone from that movie. They don't deserve to be on this list, sorry. Even if they were British. Erotic or romance novel. You're so right. This is not a young adult film.
I will give it to you
No. There's no need. I got other picks, you know. It's not in the spirit of the draft. That's my bad. I forgot that there's literally they be fucking. They could be fucking on screen and we wouldn't know the difference.
Oh yeah, but I will say there were many young adults that were reading that book that shouldn't have been. So
yeah, that's fair as well. But in the spirit of the category, I'll have to pivot. I'm running a little dry on young adult, so what I'm gonna do here is this is gonna be a childhood pick. This is one of the first times where like my sister and her friends and even people at school were walking around being like, that guy is really hot in that movie. I must have been in like middle school when this happened. And he has continued to be a significant and important part of our culture since. There's 2 movies I could take him in, not the movie he's probably most famous for. So I'm going to be taking from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Mr. Robert Pattinson.
No! Oh my god! Not Cedric. That's so... He's so hot in that movie.
Correct.
How are you?
Spectacular.
Look, I realise I never really thanked you properly for tipping me off about those dragons.
Forget about it. I'm sure you would have done the same for me.
Exactly. You know the prefect's bathroom on the 5th floor? It's not a bad place for a bath. Just take your egg and mull things over in the hot water.
He is like, I mean, I'm sorry, like, Edward, move aside. Cedric Diggory is where it's at.
Yeah, see, I think Twilight's bad. I also love that movie. Like, I think both of those things can be true. And when I watch that movie, like, I think a lot of things about Edward, I don't think he's hot. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but he's literally a vampire. Like, he's pale like a vampire. I'm just like, this is not doing anything. No one in that movie is that hot to me. The Cullen family's got some honorable mentions for sure. The dad of the Cullen family, Alice.
I was always, what's his name? Emmett?
Yeah, I know. You were Emmett girl. I remember this. I remember this from college. You were into Emmett and Krupa was into Jasper, who you said, and I quote, he looks like he's dying the entire series. Just gets smaller and smaller.
He does. He's also a Confederate soldier. What does that say about who we've become?
Yeah, it means that she's drafting for looks only. That's what she's doing. Okay, so that's my pick. The other movie I was going to shout out is Tenet. I think Robert Pattinson's really charming in Tenet. Go check out Tenet if you haven't seen that. Okay, moving on. So young adult, I'm getting Robert Pattinson, moving Jamie Dornan to like honorable mention or maybe a wild card if I want him later. Probably not. Okay. I actually don't know. You already got superheroes. So I'm not going to draft that category. All right, I need to go to war here. Now you're sweating.
I know you're not going to take mine, so...
You sure I'm not going to take the guy from 1917? You sure? You're positive about that?
Don't take the guy from 1917. I mean, I have other ones, but you know that's the one I want.
Yeah, that's fine. I won't do that to you. You know what I could do? Shit. Dunkirk is a war film.
Oh wait, we only get one, so whichever one you don't pick, I'll pick.
Well, I mean, the picks are really between who? It's Harry Styles and it's Cillian Murphy, right? In those movies, who else is there?
I mean, I like the skinny little white boy, so...
The main character?
Yeah!
No, you do not.
About him. Yes, it just works. Like, I like how he's like just running around, and he's like always in danger, and he's just running from one place to the next. Like, I like it.
This is that's an incredible take. I will to leave the 1917 pick to you if you truly want it. I'm going to take Harry Styles in Dunkirk. Do you remember when like this movie came out and people were like, "Wait, Harry Styles might be a good actor." Like, I know he only said 6 words, but he was quite good in that movie. He played a villain. He played like a dick boy who was scared and kind of just like ganging up on people because he was scared of dying, and I think served that movie pretty well. Now when you go back and watch it, all you can think is that's Harry Styles, like the huge pop star. But when that movie came out, he was still Harry Styles of like former One Direction fame, still kind of making it on his own. And he, as always, looks very, very attractive. So I will take Harry Styles in Dunkirk.
Can't bear it. You read it.
Can't bear it.
They'll be spitting at us in the streets. They're not locked up waiting for the invasion.
I love that scene where they're eating bread and he's just like chowing down on that bread with jam. Like, that works.
Right. What a memory you have for these roles. It's truly impressive.
Yeah, it's really only these movies.
Right. Except for 50 Shades of Grey, in which you don't remember anything happening.
Yeah, it's because there's like literally nothing hot about that movie. He's just like fucking her. Like, there's nothing hot about that.
I'm glad I didn't draft it. I've never seen those movies. It'd be a little disingenuous of me, but you know.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't either. Okay, so I'm going to go for my YA. So initially, I have to tell you my thought process, which was literally 5 minutes ago as you were speaking. I was thinking about what I was going to say, and I realized that Liam Hemsworth from the Hunger Games movies is not British. And so, actually, the amazingly best YA movie ever known to man has not been drafted yet. And this movie really is like a cultural... I think this is like culturally the hottest British boy of all time, especially for like young women of my era. And that's Matthew Macfadyen in Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Honestly, great pick. I appreciate that pick.
If your feelings are still what they were last April, tell me so at once. My affections and wishes have not changed. But one word from you will silence me forever. If, however, your feelings have changed, I would have to tell you. You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love and love and love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
While it's maybe not like a traditional YA movie, I think many people watched it in the same time that they were watching YA movies. And it was the first movie that many of us saw where hotness was depicted for the female gaze, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's his acting, but it's also the cinematography and the direction. They just know, they curated a hot boy, and I'm glad for it.
It's a beautiful,
the world is a better place.
beautifully shot movie, and a lot of really good performances. I think when I actually only watched it for the first time in 2022, one of my sister's favorite movies ever, for a lot of the reasons you're saying. And I was a little taken aback by like how rushed the end of the story felt, but I was very unfamiliar with the story. I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from it being an adaptation, and there's like many different versions of it that you can go watch. Like there's a BBC version, and there's, you know, stage adaptations and all this stuff. I don't know. But Matthew Macfadyen, I get it. He is not only was he like a hot boy, he's back, and he was in Succession for years.
He's still a hot boy. He's
Yeah.
still a hot boy. He's still got it. And also I think that movie does a great job, like, being relevant, even though it's like a old timey movie. And I think so. I took a Jane Austen class because of my love for that movie, and I think Jane Austen is like a pretty modern writer in that her themes are pretty modern. but I don't think the other movies do a good job translating that. Like Emma or Sense and Sensibility, which are other, like, I think popular movie adaptations of Jane Austen's work. But I think this one does a great job translating it.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so my second one. All right, let's just get it out of the way because we've already been talking about it. It's gonna be George Mackay in 1917.
Wow. It's just
So
like,
good.
as soon as you mentioned one-take movies, I knew, like, not only did I know it was 1917, I knew it was the main character who was a relative unknown at the time the movie came out. Truly, like, just a heat check take from you, and a heat check performance from him, and it's fucking awesome movie. But wow, you think he's that hot in this movie?
Yeah, something about it. Okay, first of all, the entire movie is him struggling for 2 hours. So it's like they made it for me. Like, I'm like the target audience for that movie. Like, I can't think of a better, like, 2 hours to spend than just to watch a man just continue to just be barraged with, like, pain.
Right.
And I can't ask for anything else. And he does a great job depicting that pain. And I'm, like, that's all a girl would want, you know? Like, I want to see him put his hand in that disgusting, cheesy body. I want to see his friend die and him sob over his body.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see him, like, meet his brother at the end. And everything about it works. So, that's my movie. My war movie.
Listen to me! Listen to me! I have a letter! I need to see Colonel Mackenzie!
There's no bloody way you're getting in there, mate.
Sergeant, it's on the next wave! No! Second wave! Prepare yourself! Colonel Mackenzie!
Everything down.
This attack is not to go ahead! You have been ordered to stop! You have to stop!
Who the hell are you?
Lance Corporal Schofield, sir. 8th. I have orders from General Erinmore to call off this attack.
It's honestly, it's a good pick. It's crazy because there's a lot of British actors in that movie in, like, cameo roles that are all, like, superstars, if not, like, really well-known actors. And honestly, if any of them were drafted, I'd be like, yeah, makes sense. Because they're all, like, pretty attractive.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but they are not crying in the way that this man is crying.
No, they're not.
They're just, like, I mean, like, they're hot. They're hot to the, like, objective eye. But this guy's performance, it deserves my bill of approval.
That's fair. I'm just a little distracted because I just had a breakthrough in my mind thinking about my next pick, and I think I'm gonna just bust this door fucking wide open. Are you ready?
All right, do it.
My superhero pick. This is one that I didn't have on my list until just now, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. Because I was thinking about, like, who I could pick. And I'm just going to shout out the names I'm not picking right now, to the audience and to you. I'm not picking Tom Holland as Peter Parker, because I love Tom Holland. I think he's a cutie. And there's a lot of moments in those movies where he is hot. But if we were to compare Andrew Garfield's hotness to Tom Holland's hotness, especially in those two movies, like, you just win that battle every day. And I'm not gonna put up Tom Holland against Andrew Garfield. Maybe the only superhero he loses to there in the Marvel universe. Another nominee that I think could be drafted is Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm not drafting him either.
He was on my list.
Arguably one of the hottest men that could ever be drafted, but I don't think his role as Superman did it for me. Just that those movies in general are not my favorite. And because I already drafted Robert Pattinson in Goblet of Fire, I'm not drafting Robert Pattinson in The Batman that came out last year. Who I am drafting is an actor who is an incredible actor, and also somebody who is my generation's best Batman of all time. I'm going Christian Bale in The Dark Motherfucking Knight. You forgot he was British, didn't you? You forgot he was British? He is British as hell.
Oh my god, you're right. I forgot.
Holy shit, did I not just bust this door? This draft is just completely different than it was 3 seconds ago.
I forgot he's British.
Christian Bale he kind of fits the bill for you as, like, a brooding, sad, depressed guy in The Dark Knight. It's just his whole world falls apart in that movie.
He did too good of a job.
Wow. Harvey's taking me next week.
Really? So, you're into ballet?
Bruce, this is Harvey Dent.
The famous Bruce Wayne. Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not. So, let's put a couple tables together.
I'm not sure that they'll let us.
Oh, they should. I own the place.
I literally did not know he was British until this moment.
He is very British. Wow, I feel just incredible after that pick. I can't lie, Priya. I thought you had it over me with the Andrew Garfield and Matthew McFadden, and then that just really brought me back into the game, if I can say so myself.
Yeah. It's a strong choice.
Appreciate that.
That movie also very hot because he's like in pain.
I don't disagree. It's not like men don't really look at Christian Bale that way. Like I think men look at Batman as, he's Batman and he's awesome, and Heath Ledger as a Joker was awesome. But now as an adult, when I've separated my like childhood love for that movie, I look at it, I'm like, this guy is attractive. Every time he's playing Bruce Wayne in this movie, I'm like, this guy is suave as hell.
Yeah. And he's like always on the back pedal. Like in that Heath Ledger always has something like one over him, which Correct. I like. He's like struggling the entire movie to catch up.
He's never on top until really ever, actually. You could argue he's never on top.
He's like, I won at what cost?
Exactly. It's an at what cost. We love an at what cost. This is a really side note, but me and my friend Kevin in college, when we watched, I was showing him the movie La La Land, like sophomore year. He doesn't watch movies in general, like he's whatever. So I showed him La La Land, and we watch it mostly in silence, and he's just like really into the movie. And at the end, we're walking back home, like from our friend's dorm, and the entire time he's just like, at what cost? At what cost, Ryan Gosling? And to that I say, at what cost?
At what cost?
Oscar nominee is what I think I need to pick up next, because otherwise I just have Wild Card left, and I'm going to save that for the end. This is great. This actually worked out for me quite well. In Oscar nominee, I'll be drafting a relative newcomer who I think is going to be very relevant for the next at least 10-15 years. He was nominated for an Oscar in the humble year of 2022 and lost that Oscar to... wait, am I making this up? Let me just make sure he was actually nominated for an Oscar. And
I literally cannot remember who it is.
I mean, you're gonna be mad at yourself that you don't remember. You're gonna be like, wow, he doesn't deserve this from me. Yes, he was nominated for Best Actor at the 95th Academy Awards that took place just earlier this year in 2023. He lost the award to Brendan Fraser, and this movie was in my top 10 movies of 2022. Beautiful performance, and he is set to play the main character in the new Gladiator movie coming out in the next couple of years. This is Paul Mescal. And I cannot believe you didn't recognize who I was talking about, because I know you love him.
I was like, is Austin Butler British?
Yeah, that would be great. If Austin Butler was British, I didn't draft him there. That would have been a great setup.
Okay, he's hot.
Okay. Not only, I was gonna say, After Sun is your, that's like peak sad man crying.
But I don't like when sad men have like a child they have to take care of.
Oh my god.
They have to be untethered.
Untethered to their loved ones and just in the fucking shits of war.
No, yeah, well, yes.
Yes.
But also, when you have a child, then I'm like, get your shit together. Take care of your child. We're done. The time for crying is over. That was in your youth.
Oh my god, just relentless on these men, Priya. Good for you, honestly, for having standards.
And at what cost is all I have to say on that.
At what cost?
Good. Well done.
So what's your sister's name?
Sophie.
Oh, nice.
I'm her dad, though, actually.
Oh, sorry, mate. I just thought...
That's okay.
But also, have you seen the stuff about him and how he's like on the prowl for, like, to hook up with people all the time? Like, at every event?
No, I deleted TikTok
That's what the hot
2 months
goss is
ago.
nowadays.
I'm out of the loop.
It doesn't really matter.
On all the celebrity goss, but he's a hottie. I think he's going to continue to be a hottie for a while. He dated somebody very famous, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, Phoebe Bridgers. He was engaged to Phoebe Bridgers.
Ooh, tea.
But not anymore.
So, he's on the market, is what you're saying. That increases his hottiness scale by like 1 or 2 points.
Fair enough.
Okay, it's your last 2 picks. You get hottest of all time, and you get wild card, and then I'll choose my wild card. We're at the end of the draft here.
All right. So my 2 are arguably both some people may say that my wild card is one of the hottest of all time, but to be honest, I didn't know his name until an hour before the show, so
Good for you.
I couldn't pick him as my hottest of all time.
Yeah.
But my wild card is Jack O'Connell. Do you know who he is?
I think no, I don't. I don't know who he is.
Okay. He kind of like rose to stardom in Unbroken, which was a movie that I think every high schooler watched.
Oh, is that the
class.
Angelina Jolie directed movie?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And I remember watching him in that movie being like, all right, whatever. But then recently I watched a Netflix movie called Lady Chatterley's Lover. Let me tell you, that movie is good. And that man is hot in that movie.
What is Lady Chatterley's Lover about? Is that just like a old-timey British love story?
Yeah, it's like it's a book adaptation. And it's about this girl who's like in a loveless marriage, of course.
Okay.
And then she just starts hooking up with her hot driver.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's a good time. And he's really hot. And so I watched this movie and I was like, oh, I recognize him from somewhere. And then I remembered that he is in Unbroken. And I was like, okay, wow, like generational hot boy. Like, I love it. He's like coming back in different eras of our life. So
wow,
that is my choice.
So is that your hottest of all time?
No, he's my wild card. Sorry, I didn't make that clear.
No, you're good. I was just making sure because I would have judged you, honestly, if you took it hottest of all time.
No. Oh my god, my hottest of all time. I just remembered something about. Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So anyways, Jack O'Connell, Lady Chatterley's Lover. Great choice. Go watch the movie. This is like a movie rack. If you want to like watch a hot boy do hot things, watch that movie. I am now realizing that my hottest of all time is not British.
No way you just did this.
Literally crying.
Can I hear it? Can I hear who you had?
I can't. I need to like, I have a second choice. But, oh my god, the second choice isn't British either. Oh my
Priya.
God. It's okay, I have a third choice.
Holy. I need to hear who you were thinking about before. This is great.
Okay, so my first choice was Alexander Skarsgård.
I knew you were gonna pick this. Literally for weeks I've been like, she's gonna ask if we can draft Swedish people so she can take Alexander Skarsgård in everything he's ever been.
I literally forgot that he's not British.
What would you
He's
have
so
drafted him
hot.
if you had to pick one movie to represent his hotness? Is it Tarzan?
Northman.
Okay, Northman. Okay, Northman. He's very
Because
hot.
it's so hot that he like just cuts those people up and he just like takes their intestines and does crazy shit with them. That's so attractive.
I don't disagree.
So that was my hottest of all time, but it's not because he's not British. And so then we move on to my second. Wait, he's also not British. So then we're going to have to move on to my third choice, who is also extremely, extremely hot. And I remember watching this movie and being like, he's above everybody else I've said thus far in this list.
Whoa, okay.
And this is Benedict Cumberbatch.
This is solid. I did not expect this, but he deserves to be on this list.
And he is, okay, the reason why I'm saying that he's the hottest of all time is because I am drafting him as Benedict Cumberbatch in The Imitation Game.
Yes, good for you. Wow. Great performance. I didn't think he was hot in that movie.
The reason why I am picking him is because he is hot despite actively trying not to be hot.
Wow. Damn, Priya, this is cool.
What is the point of different tastes, different preferences, if not to say that our brains work differently, that we think differently? And if we could say that about one another, then why can't we say the same thing for brains built of copper and wire, steel?
And that's this big paper you wrote. What's it called?
The Imitation Game.
Right, that's what it's about.
Would you like to play?
He literally gets castrated and I'm still like, something about it. It works.
Wow.
He's acting like he's in pain from being castrated and he's still hot. So, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Imitation Game. You're my hottest of all time.
That's crazy because you got Eddie Redmayne and Benedict Cumberbatch from Theory of Everything and Imitation Game. Both those movies came out the same year. It's a big year for Priya.
Big year for me.
Yeah.
It was a big year for me.
2014. I've been actually thinking about what are the best years of movies to draft on the show. And 2014 is one of the top picks because it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of all those movies. And like Interstellar, Imitation Game, Birdman, Theory of Everything, Whiplash. Like there's so many great movies that came out that year.
Oh my god. Also a hot boy, but obviously not British. So.
Yes. Honorable mention to Miles Teller. You love him. But yeah, in general. Great pick. Wow. I mean, honestly, like, I was sad that, like, there's a lot of names on this list, and I'm going to go through a couple of them in a second, but, like, a lot of names on this list should be drafted, and it's just tough because, like, I feel like I got to represent me, and it's also tough because they're hot, but it's like their role in the movies that they're in are not as hot. Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm debating right now. I'm kind of vamping because there's a movie I do want to take. But it just feels a little bit not me, even though it'd be a good pick.
Go with your heart. Don't go with what you think is right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna do what I don't think this is the correct pick here. And I'm happy to like talk about who I was gonna pick. And I think the audience is gonna be like, Mihir fucked up, which maybe I did. But this performance, this actor is like incredibly underrated. He has a new movie coming out. Incredibly underrated, amazing actor. And there's this one role in this big movie that I love. He only is in it for like 20 minutes. And those 20 minutes are like the greatest 20 minutes of screen time by anyone maybe ever, and like maybe in conversation of greatest scenes of all time. I'm not kidding. So from the movie The Inglourious Basterds, I'm taking Michael Fassbender.
I've never watched that movie.
You've never seen Inglourious Basterds?
No.
Have you seen any?
Who would watch that?
Have you seen any Tarantino movies?
I've seen the one with Margot Robbie where she puts her feet up. What's that movie?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, that one. I've watched that one.
Okay, Inglourious Basterds is his best movie, first of all. Greatest film. And there's a scene in it. Michael Fassbender plays a British general who goes undercover as a German soldier, basically as like a spy. And there's this one...
During World War II?
During World War II. This movie is like a revisionist history of World War II. And there's a scene where he's like in this bar. It's all in German with subtitles. And the whole thing is like they're talking to this German soldier. And at first you think the German soldier's clueless and just they're playing him. And by the end of this like long 15-minute scene, you realize that the German soldier, in this one moment of Michael Fassbender messing up, realizes that he's talking to spies and he's not talking to real Germans. And there's this moment at the end. And I've shouted out this moment on another podcast episode, but there's a moment at the end, and I'll play it for the audience, where Michael Fassbender realizes he's caught. He has a gun pointed at his testicles underneath the table. And he also has a gun pointed at the German soldier's testicles underneath the table. And he realizes that he's not getting out of this pickle. So, in this last moment, this last minute, he drops his German accent in this facade, and he picks up his glass of scotch, and he says something to the lines of, and he's in a British accent now after 20 minutes of speaking German. He says,
"Well, if this is it, old boy, I hope you don't mind if I go out speaking to kings."
By all means, Captain.
There's a special rung in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch. Seeing as I may be rapping on the door momentarily. I must say, damn good stuff, sir.
And he just sets the glass down, and then a minute later, everyone dies. And it is like the craziest.
That's hot.
It was so hot. And I know it's such a boy answer for this question, but I'm a boy, and I had to draft for myself. We got a lot of honorable mentions to go through, though. Can I just shout out who I was about to take in wild card? Because it's just like a good list of names.
Yes.
Okay, the person I was really close to taking was Dev Patel.
Oh, Hot. Oh my god, hot British man. In Lion, he's so hot because he's so sad because he doesn't know his mom.
I was
That's hot.
I was gonna nominate him for The Green Knight. I've never seen the movie. That's why I didn't take it.
Ooh. I've watched it. He's hot in it. He's not as hot as like George Mackay in 1917. He's hot.
This is the movie I looked up and I was like, oh, this is a medieval fantasy film and not a war film, so I can't draft Dev Patel in war.
Yeah, there's no war. It's also like a psychedelic thing. He's like on drugs the whole time.
Oh, interesting. I don't know anything about this movie. I just know that he looks really hot in all the posters and stuff that I've seen.
He does look hot in the posters.
Another one I wanted to take in wild card, a couple more. Tom Hardy.
So hot.
Tom Hardy is so hot.
I was thinking about him in that movie, that Christopher Nolan movie where he has a mask on.
Yeah. Dunkirk.
Wait, no, not Dunkirk. The one where he has the other mask on.
Oh, Bane from The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes!
Oh,
yeah.
I can't believe I said Dunkirk when you said Tom Hardy with a mask. That's crazy that I said that.
Well, he does have a mask on in that, but you don't see his face.
You don't see his face. You just hear him say like one thing, and then it's like, wow, that guy can really act. Yeah, dude, he's huge in Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. He's huge as Bane. And I was gonna nominate him from Inception. Actually, I think he's really charming and suave in Inception as like Eames, like the little con man.
Yeah.
And he's hot. I mean, he's really weird in Peaky Blinders, but like, you know, he's kind of hot in Peaky Blinders too. I already mentioned Henry Cavill. There's a couple of British TV actors that I really wanted to shout out, like Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. The man who plays Robb Stark in Game of Thrones also deserves to be on this list. He was in 1917. I just didn't think his role in that movie was enough for him to be drafted on this list.
Yeah, he's in it for like 5 seconds. What's his name? Richard Madden.
Richard Madden. He was in a TV show called The Bodyguard, which my parents loved.
Yeah.
He's a hot guy.
He's hot.
There's a couple more I had. Andrew Scott, who plays Hot Priest in Fleabag Season 2.
I was thinking about him when you said 1917. There was other people in it. I was like, oh my god,
he's
Andrew
100%.
Scott.
I wanted to draft him in 1917, but I was like, that is a hot 4-minute scene though. He plays like this jaded soldier, and it's like such good acting. He just convinces you that like they're going to die. He makes
such an impact in 5 minutes.
Yes,
like so good.
I'll play some of his audio now. He basically plays a soldier who leads the main characters to the part of the trench where they're going to like kind of pop their heads up and leave in the beginning of the movie. And he basically is like, basically telling them like, once you get shot, can you throw the flares back because I hate losing those to the Germans? Thanks.
Are they out of their fucking minds? One slow night, the brass think the Hun have just gone home.
Do you think they're wrong, sir?
We lost an officer and 3 men 2 nights ago. They were shot to bits patching up wire. We dragged 2 of them back here. Needn't bother.
Sir, the General is sure the enemy have withdrawn. There are aerials of the new line that...
Shut up! We fought and died over every inch of this fucking place. Now they suddenly give us miles. It's a trap. But tune up, there's a medal in it, for sure. Nothing like a scrap of ribbon to cheer up a widow. All right.
Yeah.
He's so cool in it.
Do you have any? I mean, I have more, but I want to hear some of your honorable mentions, if any.
My biggest one that I didn't pick, and I literally have 2 different movies of his on here, is Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know, right? He's both in Anna Karenina, where he plays like soft boy, I love, and also in Bullet Train.
Bullet Train, yeah, he's hot in that movie. Yeah, good one.
I also have James McAvoy, who was my second hottest of all time pick. I couldn't pick him, so.
Fuck, James McAvoy. Damn, that's a really good.
In Atonement.
In Atonement, yes, of course. It has to be Atonement. Atonement broke me. It's one of the greatest movies I think I've ever seen in retrospect. I gave it like a 9 stars just like off the bat. I was like, this is. Wow.
And it's also like, they have Saoirse Ronan playing their like 8-year-old kid in it.
The only time I've hated her on screen, by the way.
Yeah. She's so good in that movie, though. Like, as a 10-year-old, I'm like, I don't even know. I couldn't do that now. And I'm an adult. So.
Yeah. Yeah, she is really good. That's a great call out. I thought about him earlier when you were talking about Pride and Prejudice, and I forgot to write him down. I should have written him down, because there's a good chance I would have picked him in Wildcard.
So some hot British girls that I was like, I couldn't pick, obviously, but I wanted to, is Of course, Keira Knightley in all of the movies that we were talking about. Also, Florence Pugh in The Wonder. Have you watched that movie?
No, it came out 2 years ago. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's really good, and she's really good at it.
It's a Netflix movie, right?
Yeah, it's a Netflix movie. And Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy, yeah. I mean, I just run down the list of people I haven't said their names yet. Colin Farrell.
Speaking of, Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
Is he Irish?
He's Irish, I think, yeah. He's great and hot, too. I get that. I think he needs a few more years. He needs one crazy role to really get him on the list.
He needs to age a little bit.
There's a couple, good actors on this list that, one person that, maybe probably should have been in Wild Card or Hottest of All Time is Idris Elba.
Oh, yeah.
He's hot.
I'm realizing we have a lot of white boys in that we have only white boys on our list. I don't know what that says about us, but... Well,
actually, I was gonna... I thought about this question earlier. I was gonna just start with, how many men of color do you have on your list? Because I had 2. In my whole list.
I'm pretty sure I have 0.
Ooh. I also had Daniel Day-Lewis, Liam Neeson, Brendan Gleeson, who plays Mad-Eye Moody, and also he's in Banshees of Inisherin. And Kenneth Branagh.
You think he's hot?
No. I just had him written down.
Oh, you know who I wanted to pick? If only this was a TV. I really wanted to pick Jonathan Bailey from Bridgerton.
Oh,
but I couldn't.
that would have been.
And also Renee Jean. What's his name? Renee Jean.
Oh, the guy who plays the Duke in the first season.
Yeah,
he's fine.
The Bridgerton Boys.
The Bridgerton Boys. Yeah, shout out the Bridgerton Boys. Season 2, one of the most fun seasons of television I've seen in a while.
Also, shout out to Riz Ahmed. Also, another TV pick.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's in any movies where he's really shining. But
you know what you would like of him? Have you seen Sound of Metal? You would like that movie because he's hot. He's hot and sad.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I should because it also has Olivia Cook, right?
Don't remember who the actress was. Sound of Metal. He's really
Also,
good in Sound of Metal.
I didn't want to pick this person because I don't think it's YA, but Prince Caspian from Narnia.
That could be classified as YA.
I feel like maybe it's kids, like it's not actually YA.
Okay,
but
fair.
That's why I didn't pick it. But yeah, he's hot.
Very hot, very hot. That would have been a good pick. It was Ben Barnes as the actor.
Ben Barnes.
That's such a good one. Wow.
Maybe we want to wrap up because I know you have to go do work.
Yeah, isn't that such a fucking buzzkill? I mean, this is definitely the shortest, not the shortest, but since I started this podcast, since episode 1, this might be the shortest podcast episode I've done. It's in the conversation.
Short and sweet.
Do you have any closing thoughts for hot men of the British Isles? I know we had a ton of honorable mentions. I think the audience is going to be like, you guys did a bad draft because all their favorites are in the honorable mentions. But you know what? It's different when you're sitting in front of a mic, when you have hundreds of people live in front of you like I do right now, and they're just all staring at you. There's pressure, and you know what? I feel good because I think we drafted for ourselves today.
Yeah, we were true to ourselves. I do want to say that I think we need to do another one that's a little bit more global because I think that we missed out on a lot of opportunities. And I know British Boys was my choice, but I would like to do this again and make it a wider range of people.
I'm open to anything because, as you know, nothing matters on this podcast. So if you have any ideas, let me know.
Of course. And also, I've been watching a lot of great documentaries recently.
Oh, okay.
And highly suggest documentaries, dude.
Just in general. Just that's it. Just no specific recommendation.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing until very recently, and they're pretty good. So yeah.
Hot men.
Hot men.
No, this was fun. I'm glad we did this. We've been talking about this for a little too long, actually. I'm surprised it took us almost 6 months to do this draft on air.
I know, I'm glad. We were I remember we talked about it in May, and then we were like, we can't do it all summer, so we'll just come back in September and figure it out.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this. And yeah, you should come on the pod more. It's been fun doing this. I know, people are going to hear you back to back, and they're going to be like...
Well, yeah, let's let the listeners let us know if they want to hear me again, because we're not really letting them give us feedback.
We're going to record 6 with you in a limited series and just push them all out.
Yeah. Drop all of them on one day.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, listeners, thanks for listening. And we'll see you next week on Video Boosh. Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to my lovely girlfriend Kubra Patel for the podcast's artwork, and my good friend Kevin Cow for the music that you're listening to now. You can find more of his music on Instagram at Wagwong Beats. Thanks, y'all.